I'm 8 years old, and in 2020 I'll be 18 years old.
Yes, I do think about the future, not for so much me as for the rest of the city. Just have a button you can set that's your little channel, like in the air, and you can lift your car right up, not lift it personally, but have it lifted up above the traffic and go on to Toronto or wherever you're going.
We will have double-tracked the railway from here right through southern Ontario, right from Sarnia to Toronto, and that we will have GO Transit.
However soon the gas dries up or gets too expensive for the average consumer, then things are going to have to change. Whether it's the cars that people buy or whether there's a lot more busing or public transportation or whatever.
2020. What will happen? Will there be tidal waves? Will there be more earthquakes? What's going to happen? And will Stratford still be standing when other cities could be rubble? Well, it depends if Stratford's naughty or if it's nice.
The legend that is Stratford's surrounding arts will come closer to a reality. There's so many rumors and legends of how artistic this town is.
It would be a perfect spot for Canadian films to be made here, and television productions and sitcoms and whatever. So I actually think that will happen in the next 5 to 10 years.
The future in Perth County is really, really bright. We have a long, long history of entrepreneurship which traces back to a few hundred years ago when families started coming over here on the promise of free land.
Urban sprawl is one of the major issues I think that we're going to be facing in the future.
We have enough resources. We have enough water. We have enough everything to increase the population of Perth by about 200,000, 300,000 people.
But our problem is that we cannot sustain that growth. When we start growing into our farmland, we have nowhere else to get our food.
So hopefully to help out our farmers, more of the fast food places will be using Canadian or homegrown meat.
In 10 years, I'd like to see the smaller farms to be able to take off again.
Organic farms, I believe, have their niche.
It'd be nice if the kids would play more of a role, and would like to see them take it over.
How do we encourage the family farm as it exists today to become sustainable?
But 20 years, I don't think you'll recognize farming.
There really needs to be an entire shift in thinking to local food, sustainable food processes. It's just a different way of doing agricultural business than what we've been doing in the past.
They're large-scale operations, and it seems to me that the public, anything that's a large-scale operation is hammered down with the label of being a factory farm.
I think it's a balance between probably old-fashioned values and urban philosophy.
One of the things Stratford is probably going to have to recover from is a loss of a lot of the automotive industry that they've had here in the past.
Car plants, they're getting closed down, so that's a lot of jobs. And they're losing them to computers and robots.
In 10 years, we will see huge changes because the changes in this industry, electronics, are ramping up all the time.
In general, Canada's moving from a manufacturing economy to a service economy. So there have to be some savvy decisions made to keep those sorts of jobs in the area.
Stratford won't be bullied by big corporations, and this city will make sense.
Yes, Walmart sells cheap, but where do they bring in their products from?
The Gonna get a Walmart, might as well have it here because there's one 22 minutes down the road.
Buy from Walmart and put your neighbor out of work.
Why not have one right here in Stratford, create 200 or 300 jobs, even though they are part-time.
But I think people will start to go back to small independents because, well, personally, you can't beat the customer service.
We need more women on Stratford City Council because women are going to support those things that women and kids need. Right now we've got a lot of guys on council and a lot of guys there who are pretty interested in things like hockey and not so interested in things like the daycare center here.
The children. They seem to be growing up a lot quicker in this generation than the previous one, and we need to look out for them.
2020, I'll be 12.
I don't see myself in Stratford in 10 years because to start up my career, I'd probably need a bigger city that offers more opportunities.
I want my daughters to have an opportunity here.
We're moving more towards sort of information and education with, you know, the coming of a university.
I want to go to be a nurse practitioner or a massage therapist.
And I want to be in university to become a teacher or be a rock star.
And hopefully I'll be doing that somewhere in Stratford too.
10 years from now, the worst case scenario I think would be worse drugs. Meth capital of Canada instead of Ontario.
Picture a solar generation utility that is owned by people all across Ontario. There's 82,000 farmers. Let's get every single one of them to own the generation. Why is that good? Because we keep the profits here.
When we hear that Samsung and Vesta are coming in to do wind farms and green technologies, it's good to live in Ontario.
I'm not scared on because I came here by myself. A totally different country, totally different culture, totally different thing. And I survived. I lived 16 years and I'm good, life good. So I'm not scared on in next 10 years.
There's gonna be buildings that are gonna get torn down and we're gonna have new buildings and maybe new trees growing.
I think that we will still be a rural community. I just think that we will have a whole new set of tools to go about doing the things that we're doing.
What is the future? Like the air? Or Earth?
I don't know what the internet really mounts up to being. What is that thing that's that internet thing? What is it? You know, I don't try to understand because I've got, my mind's full of things that have happened over the years and I haven't got time for the internet. Not yet, anyway.